Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, let's get it. Let's go. My word, man. Stocks was like, who, you talking about that new boy that's moved in here? I was like, yeah. I was like, man. He was like, where you from? I told him. He was like, man, he got a TV. I was like, man, you know he ain't got no TV. He just come from receiving. He was like, man, y'all ain't moving nobody in here that you never gonna have no TV, ain't got no TV, and don't care about no TV. No, white. No, he called me my last name. I'm like, man, come on, Stocks, man. I was like, look, man. I said, man, look, man, I'll pay you, bro. He was like, how much you gonna pay me? I said, man, look, man. I said, I'll give you $25 a day. I said, man, I'll give you a spoon coming up on Wednesday. Because my man was about to strike, you know what I mean? I was like, look, I'll give you a spoon on Wednesday. He was like, a real spoon? I said, man, I'm gonna give you a real spoon. A real spoon, man. He was like, hey, you better be 6 feces in that spoon, Weezy. I said, man, look, man, you're going a little too far. That's a lot of feces, man. There's only 4 in a spoon. He was like, no, I want 6. I was like, I said, but look, though, I said, for the most part, though, I said, all he do is sleep. He ain't really, he said, man, he might be trifling. I said, but y'all might make a good couple, though. He was like, man, stop playing, man. Nah, I don't want nobody, I ain't dirty. I clean up. I clean the cell. I clean the toilet bowl. I clean the floor. I do everything. This he gonna have to learn. He gonna have to learn these traits right here. He was like, ask my homeboy, ask Ray. He was like, ask your homeboy Ray. He ain't never had to clean up. I told him, since he on the top bunk, I'm gonna handle everything down here. I got everything under control down here. So I'm like, man, all right, man. I said, well, look, though. I said, we're gonna have to go and holler at the unit manager together to see this is a go. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, give me the $25, though. I was like, all right, man. So me and him walked in my cell. You know what I mean? So he walked in my cell. You already know. The creature was in there. We walked in that joint. So we walked in, that joint smelled like a cave. Like he was having chiclets in there. I was like, walked in that joint. His word Stocks walked in. He was like, what's up, man? I'm Stocks. He was on the bed. He was like, hey, how you doing, man? Darnell, man. He was like, yeah, what's up, man? He was like, hey, Weezy tell you what's going on? He was like, nah, what's going on? He was like, look, man, I need to holler at you, man. He was like, he fixed his shirt. He was like, he jumped off the bed again. He was like, I'm all ears. I was about to say, you look like a, I ain't even want to bake him, man. Tell me he all ears, man. I gotta keep my composure. I was like, look. I said, yo, look, this Stocks right here, man. I said, man, look, he's sleeping in that cell right directly across from us by the handicap. I said, look, we trying to do a swap, man. I said, look, man, I ain't gonna lie. I said, you cool, Darnell? I said, but real talk, bro, you smell like a old locker room in high school, bro. Like dudes who ain't never changed their drawers in months, man. I said, man, I can't really take it, man. He was like, I'm not that bad, man. I said, man, look, all I'm saying is this. I said, Stocks say you can move in the room with him. I said, you might be a little bit more comfortable over there with him. I said, now that's why I brought him over here for you can meet him. I said, his roommate gonna move in my room. He was like, well, like, what if I don't want to consent to none of this stuff? Like, what happens next? I was like, you don't want to know what happens next. He looked at me, I looked at him. I was like, you don't want to know what happens next. Trust me on that one. He was like, so this is what it came to, huh? Excuse me. And he just walked out the room. I'm like, Stocks was like, what's wrong? I was like, man, I don't know, man. So he dipped out and went downstairs. I waited a second. I was like, man, come on. So me and him come down the steps, y'all. He was walking towards the door. I did him like Tony off Scarface. This word, I came down the steps. I was like, I caught up with him. What ran in front of his? I was like, hey, what's up? You good? He was like, I was like, you good? He was like, what do you mean? I said, bro, listen, bro, you're not gonna hold me hostage, bro, with your funk. I said, bro, I need you to dip, bro. Like, this happens all the time. We're not compatible. What's the problem? He was like, the problem is you don't get to pick who I get to sleep in the room with. That's the problem. I said, man, listen, I'm not picking nothing. I said, either way, you gotta go. So I said, like, what you want to do though, bro? Like, it ain't gotta be like this. I said, I ain't trying to push nothing at you, man. He was like, you're not pushing nothing at me. I'm just standing my ground. That's all. And they told me when we first came in, they said they don't care when nothing else happens. Don't let nobody bully you. Don't let nobody take your stuff, and don't accept nothing from nobody. And stand your ground. So I'm standing my ground, man. I'm looking at him. He walking on the back of his pants. I'm like, you filthy animal, talking about hold your, stand your ground. I'm like, I said, so what you saying? You ain't gonna do this move? That's what you saying? He was like, no. I said, so you just gonna just tell me no, and you think you just gonna keep living your filthy butt in the room with me, huh? That's what you saying you gonna do? He was like, I don't wanna have to do that, but you're leaving me no choice. I have to stand my ground, man. You have to stand your ground. I was flaring this. I was ready to, bah! I was ready to knock the toboggan off him, y'all. So boom. But I didn't, man. I'm just like, I'm angry though. I ain't even gonna lie. Everybody see the joke, the whole posse. Everybody like, oh man, he buckled on Weezy and them. So Stop's like, man, he ain't trying to move in the room with me, man. He playing around. He playing around. He ain't trying to move in the room with me, man. I said, man, shh. I was mad, y'all. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, man. Like, I was mad. Like, I was so mad. I said, popcorn. He was like, I was like, one of the steps quick. I was like, I got up them steps. Walked over there by popcorn by the laundry area. I was like, yo, what's up? I said, hold this for me. Gave him the jack. He was like, I don't want to hold this. I said, man, just hold it till I have to count, man. Nobody gonna bother your old butt, man. He was like, I ain't gonna use that. You don't know how to use it. I said, because when you got locked up, they were using phones like this. 1, 2, 3. I ain't said that to popcorn though, but I'm like, nah, bro, look. Just chill, man. Like, just hold it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's real right now. He was like, what, you beefing with your 7? I said, yeah, he gotta go. I said, yeah, he gotta go. Real talk, he gotta go. I ain't trying to be mean about it. I said, this how last count together. He was like, you should go holler at the unit manager to cover your tracks. I said, tell him what? I'm about to evict this maniac? I said, because this is what I'm about to do. He was like, nah, just tell him that he ain't trying to move. I said, nah, because they gonna know. Now, I was like, I ain't doing that, man. I was like, look, just hold it drunk, bro. Just be careful. Be easy. I'm gonna be back through. He was like, all right, so I gave it to him. I dip back out. Go back around myself. He's standing downstairs looking like, I got to hold my ground face. He like this. I'm holding my grounds. Yeah, you holding your grounds, all right. I'm just waiting for you to come back in the cell, y'all. So boom. And I still ain't gonna put my hands on him, man. But look, we got some more stuff to talk about, man. Because right now, you smell like a freaking animal, man. That shower that he took, it been wore off. He hasn't been in the shower since. I use setting examples. I'm getting in the shower every day. Yo, you sweat every day, man. Wash off every day. What's the problem? If you miss a day, do it in the morning. You gotta clean yourself, man. This is your body, it's your tempo, man. You gotta make sure you're right. But you have some people that don't care about this stuff, man. You have some people like Darnell that don't care about nothing, man. This man don't care about soap, deodorant, lotion, or none of this, man. His hair all knotty, stink, cold in his eye, breath stink. Man, it's like, everything is bad with him, man. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait, man. So I'm gonna see if he gonna come back in the cell and we like, damn. Oh, that's what I'm gonna see. So I just stood on the tip. I get posted up on the tip. He right there, just standing like he looking at the TV. I was like, I'm gonna see if he gonna come in this joint when it's behind for lockdown. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see. Lady coming in the job. Y'all locked down for count. Everybody locked down for get out the showers. Come on. Faster y'all go in, the faster y'all come out. Lock down. Everybody. I'm like, this material. Like, yeah, come on. See what he gonna do. He was like, the lady was like, come on. Walk to the TV. She was like, all right, y'all, come on. It's over with. Come on, man. Go on the cell and watch your TV. She was like, look. She turned the joint off. She's like, come on, y'all. Darnell was like, I read his brain. He thinking about it. Like, he's not really going to hurt me, man. I know I stink, but still won't let me in the room. I'm like, that's what you think, huh? That's what I'm saying. He like, man, turned around, walked towards the steps. Came up the steps slow. He didn't do his normal come up the steps. He came up the steps slow. He was like, we get upstairs. We hit the corner. I'm still on the team. I'm like, I see him coming down. I'm like, I walk in the cell. I'm going there first. I'm waiting on him. I'm back like this in the cell. As soon as he comes to the cell, he like, he see me, I'm like this. When he come to see, I was like this. Well, I was like this when he came to see. He was like, man, it was like, lock down. Next thing you know, she was on the top tip. Boom, she closed our door. Lock that jump. I'm still like this. He like, we're gonna fight now. I'm like, yo, listen, man, you got me mixed up, man. I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I said, man, I'm trying to be patient with you. I'm being honest with you, Darnell. Like, I really don't want to take it there with you, man. I said, but listen, it's not gonna work. I said, bro, you stink. I said, I'm being honest with you, man. You stink, man. You smell like a real deal gargoyle, bro. Like, you smell like a bat when he's hanging upside down, bro. You smell like a freaking swamp, bro, after everybody in the ocean takes a dump, bro. Like, you stink, man. I just start baking him, man. I'm like, bro, you stink. And he's like, man, so what? I couldn't believe he said that. He was like, so what? I don't care. I got time to do, man. I was like, I got quiet. I'm like, you got time to do? Yeah. I'm not the only one in here that don't bathe every day. What is it to you? I don't smell that bad. I'm like, yo, look, man, look. You lower your voice. I said, you getting too loud. He was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I said, yo, bro. I said, listen, bro, smell yourself. I said, smell yourself. Smell yourself, bro. He was like, I said, man, smell yourself, bro. He was like, I'm not smelling. I said, bro, you stink. I said, go like this. I said, go like that, bro. He was like, I said, yeah, it stink, don't it? I said, yeah. He was like, not all that bad. I said, man, stop saying that, man. It's not all that bad. I said, yes, it is, man. I said, bro, you stink, man. Real talk, bro. You smell like a real deal creature, bro. I said, I'm not letting you stay in this room. He was like, I said, don't think just because you're talking that stand your ground situation. I said, don't think that's going to save this situation. He was like, it's like, I ain't going to right then and there from having that conversation with him before they counted and just seeing how this guy is, y'all. Like, it just hit me, pause. Like, I couldn't even take him serious. I went from I was at 100 at first. I ain't gonna lie, probably like 98. But after having this maniac conversation with him and seeing how he think and feel about washing his butt, man, I promise you, man, that man brought me down to a 40% game, y'all. So boom. And that's what made me start thinking like, yo, bro, for real though, bro, like putting your hands on him, you know you about to smash him. Putting your hands on him is not gonna be a good thing. This man stinks for one. You know what I mean? For two, you going to the hole because he probably tell it. You know what I mean? He told you he's standing his ground like the rule book. So at the end of the day, he's definitely gonna tell it. So I'm like, look, bro, think. Like I was mad. Then I start thinking, I'm like, it's crazy. Like what he wild or something like, yo. I was like, all right. That's what's up, man. That's cool, bro. I was like, you know what? You got that, man. He was like, I do? I said, yeah, you got that, man. He was like, they walked by and counted. He was like, man, look, man, I don't have no problem with you, Weezy, man. I'm just trying to do my time. I said, man, all right, you good, man. He was like, all right. Jumped this dirty app on the bed game, y'all. So boom. I said, man, so he's crazy, man. He's crazy, man. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm trying to think. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think sinister. I'm trying to think smart. I'm trying to think about doing the right thing. Because I'm not trying to really let a dirt diver type of dude like him, man, ruin my career at Lawrenceville. So I'm trying to be smart about the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is crazy right here, man. I'm like, he wilding. So the administration's still here. This is the first count after lunch. You know what I mean? All of that. So I'm like, man, this joint crazy, man. So it was like, man, we go out for dinner. I was like, man, I'm about to, man. It came to me. I was like, yo, when we go to dinner, I was like, I got something for him. Man. He said, stand by for child. Stand by for child. He said, the spaghetti over there, the good spaghetti. Everybody like, oh, man, the spaghetti over there. The spaghetti used to be a scud ball sometime when you're hungry with the bread game, with the butter on the bread game, with the beef season pack game on that Getty. That Getty used to be good sometime. But you know what? On this tray right here, I have to miss this one, y'all. I have to miss this one, man. Because right now I'm dealing with a freaking creature in my cell, man. So I said, man, everybody happy about the spaghetti. Everybody come out. He get up. He jump off the bed. He walked to the sink. He was like, psh. That man was using his fingertips for a rag. He was like, I was like, man, this dude, wow, man. I said, all right. You know what I mean? I came out. I walked to the booth. I hit the intercom. I said, yo, can you throw me some 2 blue gloves down here? She was like, you need 2 blue gloves? I said, yeah, I need 2 blue gloves. She was like, I got you, White. She came to the slap. Dropped that joint on everybody looking at me. I'm like, I catch the gloves. Put it in my pocket. I went calmly back up the steps. Went up the steps like this. Nice and calm. Walk back towards my cell like this. So exit out for child, exit out for child. I looked up, I seen Darnell like, he walked by me, I was like, as soon as he left, I let the instant game. I was like, Lord, man. It's bed stink, like he don't use sheets. I'm like the instant, I'm like, man, everybody leave out. Everybody leave out. Word, cool lady working. I say, yo, look, I hit the intercom because my cell is right by the booth. I ain't gonna lie. Like they got the two parts of the top tier. They got the top tier over by the back door side, by the laundry area, and they got the top tier that's kind of like the booth can see you easy, but that's still like the best cell in the house. From the other one that's in front of me, that's the last cell on the tier, the dead end, that is my cell. Those kind of like the best joints because they can't blitz you no type of way. They gotta come through the front door, they gotta come through that back door. There's no other way to get to you. Like if you can see them coming. So that's why I used to like that cell. You know what I mean? But I'm right by the booth, so I was like, I'm just looking at the lady. She threw me the gloves. I hit the button. I was like, yo, I go on my cell and hit the button. After everybody left, I was like, yo, look. She's like, what's up? I said, look, man, I need you to turn your eye on this. But she was like, nope, if you about to, y'all fighting, I can't be responsible. I said, look, no. I said, no, ain't no fighting on this. She was like, what you about to do? I said, look, man, my celly trifling, man. I was like, man, at least got to try. I said, this dude's super trifling. I said, I got to move. Unit manager said I can move him along as he agree. Everybody agree. I said, he the only one out the party of four that don't agree. So I said, look, I got to get him out my cell. She said, what you going to do? I said, I'm about to evict him. She said, how you going to evict him? I said, I'm about to kick his stuff out. She was like, that's not going to work. Because what if he go tell? I said, man, no, that's going to make him go in that cell. You know what I mean? I said, damn, after he moved, I said, we'll tell the unit manager we just went on and did it on some emergency stuff. And they have to understand. I was ready to take that risk. That she didn't understand that, but I'm ready to take that risk. She like, you crazy white. She was like, don't do that. I was like, he ain't really got nothing. I said, man, he's evicted though. She was like, don't. I said, man, no. She was like, I ain't see nothing. I ain't see nothing. She just kept doing what she was like, that's all I need to hear. I threw the gloves on. I was like, I felt like a surgeon. I was like, do no jokes on. I was like, I grabbed his mattress. I folded it. I was like, ugh. Put a stinky pillow over top of it. I was like, do that joint out there. I was like, grab his two boxes. Slid them joints out. Put them nice and neat right there beside the other cell, right there in the middle part. Oh, where our closet at for our toilet closet. Put that joint right there. And boxes right there, mattress right there. I went to the joint, I seen his jacket. I was like, take that jacket, do that jacket over there. I was like, you ain't got nothing else. I seen that bag. I was like, shit out here too. I was like, this nigga left his sheets in here. He left his sheets in here. I don't want these stinking ass sheets. Nigga, get that shit out here too. So all that shit out there looking wild. I'm like, so a couple of niggas start coming back. Niggas like, hey, open up. Hey, Weezy, what the hell you doing, bro? I was like, man, I'm evicting this nigga, bro. Fuck that shit. I was like, I came out there. I was like, ugh. Trying to straighten this shit up. I fold his mattress back. I was like, niggas like, oh shit. So niggas like, this nigga ain't really had shit. I walked in there. I looked on the bottom. By the end of my bottom bunk had like a little extension joint. I looked, that's where he had his cup at. I was like, went back in there. I was like, do that shit out. Fuck him. Yeah, do that shit out. My word. Everybody come back. Niggas like, oh shit. He walked back in. He was like, he came on the steps. He was like, that's what we're doing now, Weezy. I said, man, look, man, get your shit and get the fuck out, bro. Real talk, man. He said, where the fuck do I supposed to go? I said, to the cell that we told you to move to. The fuck is wrong with you, man? You out there making a narrative of this shit, man, your dirt ass, man. You were like, so it came to this. I said, man, look, God damn it, I'm trying to be nice about this shit. I said, this is the nice version of me. God damn it. He was like, He started walking down the tail like this. Nigga like a fake ass Conor McGregor, y'all. So boom. This nigga psycho. He made the walk to dude said, stop seeing the stop. I was like, hey, who is you crazy? Weezy? I'm like, nah, man. He wildin', man. I don't know him for real, man. I'm now mad for real. I'm like, nah, man. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all wildin', man. He too filthy, man. I'm not keeping this man in my cell, man. Y'all wildin', man. So he take the walk. Starks let him in. I look, Ray was like, hold on. Ray going to jump. Ray was like, let me grab my stuff. He was like, they ain't gonna say nothing. I said, nah, we good, bro. Yeah, I'm doing a Lawrenceville move right now. This some bootleg game, some Geo game. We gonna do whatever we want game, y'all. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like, nah, you good, bro. Come on. You know what I mean? Everybody looking like, man, Weezy a psycho. He just did a move without them giving him the thumbs up game. I'm like, yeah, take this risk, man. So I move him in the joint. Ray get in my cell. You know what I mean? Now Ray in the joint. Ray like, man, I'm happy I'm out that joint. I'm like, yeah, we went to holler at the unit manager. I was like, come on here with me, bro. So we walked out the joint. Unit manager was still there. I was like, oh, look. I said, man, look, man. We did the move. We had to do the move the way right then and there. He was like, what do you mean right then and there? I said, man, he's already in my cell. He said, how he's already in your cell? I said, because we had to do an emergency move, man. He said, how you had to do an emergency move? I said, look, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. I said, man, but that man was funky, man. I had to move his stuff. Oh, I had to get him away from my stuff, man. Real talk. I can't put up with it, man. So he said, the next guy you move him in the cell, what he's going to put up with it? I said, this is his celly right here. I said, look, he'll tell you that his celly consent to the move. I said, and you can ask him yourself. He was like, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him. He's like, come on. He just walked out his office and we walked in our part. Everybody's like, Arr! We come back in with the unit manager. He go upstairs and start saying slow as hell. He kind of fat dude, unit manager. He gets in the joint. He was like, hey. He looked in there. He seen my old roommate in there. He seen Darnell. He said, hey, you all right, man? I'm coming up behind him now. I'm like, pause. He was like, you all right, man? Darnell was like, hey, I will be. He was like, so, he looked at Stocks. He said, so you cool with this? Stocks was like, yeah, I'm good. We good. I looked at the unit manager like, he was like, all right, well, look, y'all still put it on paperwork and give it to me before I go home. I'm going to take care of it. Y'all straight. You straight. He looked at Ray. He was like, yeah, you straight. Y'all straight. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, that's a bet game, y'all. So, boom. I got rid of the creature. He was gone, man. Word, me and Ray was up the whole night tripping about that, man. Like, man, they done moved the whole creature in my cell, man. Dude, funky, man. Like I couldn't deal with it, y'all. Like this, I done had a lot of dirty roommates. This isn't the first dirty roommate I had. There's a few stories about a dirty roommate. I'm assuming everybody that was locked up that was clean, like they had dirty roommates, man. It's dirty dudes in penitentiary. I told y'all that in the beginning. Like dudes come to penitentiary and you can see how dirty a dude is for himself because the only thing he has to take care of is himself. You gotta make sure you groom. You gotta make sure you wash your butt. You gotta make sure you keep yourself together. You gotta make sure everything. Like you gotta keep your own self together, man. Dudes come to prison and can't even do that. They can't even do that, man. They'd rather be in a joint with stinky feet, stinky breath, stinky underarms, stinky butt, paws, everything. I done seen it in there too many times, man. And Darnell was one of them, man. I don't got nothing to do with you. Got 2-3 years, bro. You was too stinky, man. I had to get him out of there, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I had to get him out of there, man. I had to get him out that joint, man. So now he's over there with the dude Stocks. So I told y'all, Stocks kind of like keep the cell clean. You know what I mean? He on the bottom bunk, so he makes sure he clean everything. If you on the top bunk, you stay on your top bunk. When you get up, pee, use the bathroom, whatever the case, get your ass back on the top bunk. I think those were kind of Stocks rules. He was a different type of psycho, man. Like, I got the bottom. I'll take care of everything. I'll clean up. You ain't got to clean shit. Like, I don't be wanting a nigga to tell me that when I move in the room with a nigga like, yo, look, I got everything. Nah, we got everything. Because you're not going to dictate this sale like this yours, nigga. That's what I tell them niggas. Like, do this during this time shit, nigga. We gonna clean the room together, nigga. This shit ain't got your name on this damn cell, nigga. It's a number. And we sharing it now, man. That's what I be telling them niggas, man. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more kind. But I be serious about that, man. But at the end of the day, this is what Stocks is pushing. Stocks, like, I got it. So Stocks feeling like everything good about it. You know what I mean? So I can remember being in the cell one day. Ray went outside. I'm chilling. I'm on the jiggle box. Laid back. Behind the cut game. Just relaxing. On the phone and shit. Got down here somebody. I ain't hear everybody's gonna alert when when we lock down. I mean, when they outside wreck and we in the pod, everybody alert still. The alert gets louder, matter of fact. So I ain't hear it was the police in joining up, but I hear a knock at my door. I'm like, who the cut? I'm like, get up. I'm like, yo, hey, Weezy. I'm like, it's Darnell. I'm like, man, what this stinky motherfucker? I'm like, what's up, bro? I ain't able to cut. I'm like, what's up? I'm talking to that nigga behind the cut. I'm like, what's up? He like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute, man? I'm like, about what? He was like, I'd rather not say it out here. I'm like, what do you mean you rather not say it? I'm like, man, come on, bro. Like, what do you mean you rather not say it, bro? He was like, man, I'd rather not say it out here, man. I'm like, man, shh. All right, man, hold on, man. Grab the jack from the side of the bed. Put that shit back in my little spot. Pull the cut down, pop the door. He walked in, he was like, last time you been in the shower, Darnell? He was like, I don't know. But look, I was like, what? He was like, man, something's wrong with that guy in there, man. I was like, what you mean something's wrong with him? He was like, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just something strange about him, man. I was like, what do you mean it's something strange about him, man? He was like, freaking, the other night, I was asleep. And I think I heard him down there whacking off. I was like, what? What you mean he was down there whacking off? What the hell you talking about? He was like, that's what it sounded like, man. I heard lotion smacking. And I was like, what, to the booth or to the CO? He was like, no, he was laying in his bed. I was like, yo, bro, like, what you want me to say? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was like, yo, Ray walked up. Ray was like, what the fuck you doing here? I was like, hey, look, hold on. I was like, look. He told me he just caught Stocks in there. Stocks was last night. Stocks was in the cell jacking off, bro. He was like, what? I said, yo, Stocks wasn't doing that shit when you was in there, was he? He was like, what? Hell no, bro. Don't play with me like that. I'll beat Stocks' ass, man. You tripping. I was like, damn, like, so I don't know what the fuck, but I started feeling like, damn, like, you know what I mean? It be situations like this. Like, I had to get this man out my cell now. You know what I mean? Like, for real, I'm looking at it like, yo, bro, if he is on some psycho shit, you need to use your creature skills, bro, and goddamn get him out the cell, y'all. So, boom. So I started thinking like a maniac, man, because that did sound a little disrespectful. But on the strength that I got this man out my cell by eviction, man, he was a dirt diver kind of guy. I felt like I had to give him this advice. And I told him, I said, man, listen, if that man disrespecting you, man, I said, you need to use your creature skills and mutate and goddamn get at that nigga, bro. I said, because you look like a fucking gargoyle. I said, you need to turn into one and get at this nigga, man. He was like, hey, man, it's not that funny. I said, look, the only thing I can say, Ray was like, man, that nigga disrespecting you like that, man. You need to jump off the bed and beat his ass, man. I said, you know how you be jumping off the bed when you wasn't here? He was like, how? I was like this. I said, that's how you need to jump off the bed and go whoop his motherfucking ass if that nigga disrespect you like that, man. So we just kind of talking shit about this because Stocks never showed signs of shake, rattling, and rolling. I've been scanning Stocks. Stocks never even know I scanned them. I scanned them when I used to go holler at Ray and borrow Ray books. Ray used to have a lot of decent books, like novel books. And I used to go borrow the books from Ray. And he don't even know one time I came to the door before and I was waiting. And he was just laying on the bed, like looking like like he wear the glasses when he reading the book. He was laying on the bed. He was like, and I just walked in. I was in the center of the door. I was like, I was like, yeah, Ray, hurry up, man. You know what I mean? Like, everybody gets scanned when I wanted to be. Everybody gets scanned. So I'm like, yo, Ray, hurry up. So he wasn't one of those type of guys that show those type of, you know what I mean? Like, he super shake, rattling, rolling, whatever the case, man. But if he was in there disrespecting Darnell like that, man, I told Darnell to jump off that bed and beat his motherfucking ass, y'all. So boom. What else he supposed to do? It's serious business right now, man. Like, you can't disrespect that man like that, man. So Darnell was like, man, I don't want to fight. I didn't even want to fight you, Weezy. I said, yeah, I know you didn't want to fight me. He was like, man, look, stop joking. He was like, look, that guy disrespects me like that again. I said, did you say something to him about it? He said, yeah, I woke up. I told him, hey, man, was you down there jacking off last night? I said, you said it like that? He was like, yeah. I said, what Stocks say? He said, Stocks was like, shit, nigga, mind your motherfucking business. I said, man, that man ain't say that. He said, yes, he did. Yes, he did, Weezy. I said, man, damn. I said, bro, listen, bro. He was like, man, fuck that shit. He said, I know how to get rid of him. I said, how? He said, I'm not going to wash my motherfucking ass. I said, man, go ahead with that shit, man. Ray was like, man, so you say you about to go on shower strike to get rid of him? He was like, yeah, because I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight, man. I was like, man, that shit might don't work, though, man. I'm letting you know. He was like, fuck it, man. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that shit, man. And he walked away looking like a damn moth. He was like, mother, that's you eating. He went back in the cell, y'all. So, boom. Dip. Went back in cell. Couple days go by. Couple days go by. Goddamn. On Sundays, they do the bar and window check game. So they'll come through and do that probably like a little bit on the evening shift. Like they'll come and do that, interrupt everybody. Niggas in that bitch watching football, whatever the case, drinking game, la game, but they gotta come do bar and window tap. Now, bar and window tap is, y'all know it's 2 windows in each cell on Lawrenceville. They got the tall window for the top bunk. Then the bottom bunk had the small window right by the foot of it. It's on both foots of the bed, but that's where the windows are at. So they'll come in there with the little rubber hammer on the wood joint, the little rubber hammer game, the big joint, and they'll come in there and be like, and they'll hit both windows, basically checking the windows in your cell. Like somebody can squeeze through the motherfucking window. Like, I don't know why they're doing this, but they always used to interrupt us with this. But they coming through to do the bar and window taps. So when they come doing bar and window tap, you hear the CO. When him and the lady, it was a little young girl and the young black dude, they get to the joint, they like, yo, man, he said it smell like cleaning supplies and shit. Starks was like, what? He was like, man, stink in your cell, man. Starks on Darnell standing right by their cell. They right there. He was like, man, that shit stink in there, man. Y'all need to burn an incense in that shit or something, man. Smell like fast in there, man. The lady was like, the lady came out, I guess she was the one with the hammer. She came out, she was like, ooh, y'all stink. Y'all stink. She did. Oh, look, Darnell was going back in the room. Next thing you know, Darnell was back on that bed. Word, Darnell hopped back on the bed. No, he the one that got the cell stinking. Word, Starks come out. Starks was like, and nigga went downstairs angry. And he was like, and he came back up. And they got the mop bucket, spray bottle, goddamn thing. He came to the joint. He was like, hey, let me get in here. I gotta clean up. Darnell was like, man, I'm laying down. You clean up. I'm not in your fucking way. I was like, oh shit. I got down and went on and walked down the tier some more. Like, oh shit. I get down the tier, I get a better view. I'm like, they directly down there, but I can see directly in their shit. Starks was like, oh, so you want to stay in here while I clean up your phone? Yeah, you ain't been in the shower in a week. You ain't washed your ass in a week. I've been cleaning up behind your ass. Now everybody's saying our cells stink, man. That nigga Darnell was like, shit, goddamn. It smells fine to me. Yeah, it smells fine to me. Man, as soon as he said that shit, man, Starks was grabbing his ass off the fucking bed. My word, Starks grabbed that nigga off the bed. Boom! He pulled him off the bed. That's word. I was like, oh shit. When he got up, he was like, get up. Get up, motherfucker. Yeah, I ain't wheezy, motherfucker. I was like, this nigga a psycho. Yeah, I ain't wheezy, motherfucker. Get up. Get up. And then got down. Darnell got up. I let you in my motherfucking cell. Yeah, Wheezy fucking paid me to let your dirty ass in here. Yo, bro, chill, bro. You keep saying Wheezy this, Wheezy that. Like, what the fuck, bro? As he was just talking and talking and talking, goddamn, Darnell was like, motherfucker, you're fucking gay. You keep fucking jerking off at night. Fuck you. I don't want to be in the cell with you any fucking way. Fuck you. He just started snapping. He just started blacking out. I was like, this joke's not going to end well. I knew it wasn't, man. On everything, man. They sitting there arguing. Probably about 2 minutes into the argument, man, you just seen Darnell finally gain some nuts. And he swung at Starks. Starks started to talk. He was like, Starks got that weed, that shit a little bit. Starks came back with a two-piece. Boom, boom. He two-piece Darnell. Him and Darnell in that joint record. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, man, everybody coming up there looking like, I'm like, oh, shit, Darnell rumbling. Darnell, like, he saw rumbling skills. He like, I'm like, oh, as I get closer, I smell gym bag. I'm like, it smell like a damn gym bag. I'm like, what the fuck? Niggas rumbling. Boom, 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 boom. Niggas like, man, what the fuck? Yeah, you fuck around with you. Niggas like, yo, y'all break that shit up. I was like, man, y'all let them niggas fight, man. The hell, y'all let them niggas just rumbling. Word, them niggas was just rumbling, man. So everybody made it hot. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Like, dudes was watching this shit. Niggas made it hot as a pistol watching that shit, man. So I guess the lady in the booth painted the activity of the back corner to the left, looking like it was a little Liddy over there. Next thing you know, through the back door game, you look, the same two COs that was doing bar and window check, they come running back through our jump, running straight towards they cell. They come over the jump, they look, they like, they call the code word. Next thing you know, more police come through the bottom tip. They blitz they cell, man. They come in that jump, man. Word. The COs came in that bitch. They was like, hey, man, y'all locked down, man. How the fuck, man? He was like, man, how the fuck do you smell like that? They was picking Darnell up. They was like, how the fuck do you smell like that, man? Come on, man. They was like, man, cuff him up. CO was like, no, you cuff him. They was like, man, what the fuck? He was cuffed this stinking ass. Darnell was like, and they was sweating. Goddamn Starks was like, yeah, fuck him. Yeah, fuck him. Darnell was like, yeah, fuck you, you gay. Fuck you, you gay. And they were just snapping on each other, man. They took them out. They took them out, man. I was sorry that Darnell went down. He was a sacrificial lamb by accident, but I paid him, y'all. I paid him, so you can't really blame me for that, man. But they both went down, man. But we got rid of goddamn Darnell, man. I promise you, man. I looked up. Darnell was out the hole in 40 building. Whoever he was roommates with, man, I swear to God, I know they was probably ready to hurt him in there, man, because Darnell smelled like a bag of fucking goddamn niggas took dumps for years, man. Like, he stinks. He really, I done had stinky cellies before, but this was a real stinky celly right here, y'all, man. I couldn't do it, man. I was just so happy that they was gone out my cell and out the pod. Me and Ray chilled for a minute, man, until they finally got rid of me, man, and moved me back to San Francisco game, y'all. That was crazy right there, but it was the new San Francisco. It wasn't like it was wild like the first time I went. But that was the end of me in 33 for that particular moment, man. But that was a crazy situation. That's the end of the damn story, though. Appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all know the count, man. We staying out the way, man, because our family needs us to, man. That's why we staying out the way, man. But with that being said, though, you already know what it is, man. This is the weekend banger game. So when y'all do this one, like, share, subscribe. Let's get it. Let's go. But be safe out there, people, and stay y'all ass on the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes.